All right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Tintin He,
My name is Xingyi Li.
and we're here with the Houston Asian American Archive interviewing Dr. Maheshwani on April 4th, 2018. So could you introduce yourself briefly?
Yes, hi, my name is Manish Wani, and yeah, I'm here to be interviewed from, as far as what I do, I'm a otolaryngologist, a head and neck surgeon. I've been practicing out here in the West area for almost 17 years now. And I've been in Houston for that long. So, and this is after 8 years of training, then I came to practice here.
Okay. So we read on your survey thing that you were born in Vadodara?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was born in Vadodara. It used to be known as well, it was initially known as Vadodara. When I was born, it was known as Baroda, and now it's back to Vadodara. And it's in the state of Gujarat in India. I was born there, but I came to the United States when I was 2, so I grew up here. But growing up, my parents used to take us to India almost every 2 years, and we'd spend the whole summer there. So that was like 3 or 4 months at a time. So in that sense, I was able to keep my culture, so I can still read and write our native language, which is Gujarati. And so that was a big benefit. Even though being raised here, I can still keep my culture from back home.
So what were your parents' professions and why did they come to the U.S.?
Sure. My dad is a civil engineer, and he came here on a student visa to do his postdoctorate, to do his PhD at University of Texas at Arlington. My mom is a high school graduate. She may have gone to 1 or 2 years of college, but she didn't graduate from college. And when she came here, she worked as back then it was called a data processing technologist. And then she also did some babysitting and things like that. But for the most part, growing up, she was at home.
Okay. And how was it for them adjusting to moving to the U.S.?
Sure. I mean, it was very difficult. Actually, my dad came here first, so he was by himself for 2 years in college while we were back in India. Of course, it's a fairly typical story for somebody that in that generation. I mean, he came with $50 in his pocket, not knowing anybody. Took a cab from the airport. He tells this story, but he took a cab from the airport to a person's house he was supposed to stay at. Well, he went there, knocked on the door, and nobody answered. And this was in the middle of the night, and apparently these people had gone out of town. Of course, there were no cell phones or anything like that back then, so he was kind of stuck out on the streets for a couple of days, but he did find another person that he could stay with until these guys came back, and then he sort of got his feet wet and started his PhD training and was in school. And then after 2 years, he felt comfortable enough to bring us over here, my mom and at that time my other brother. So there were 2 of us, and so then we came here. I was 2, my older brother was 4. So it was a difficult transition. I mean, coming all the way from a whole different country, especially not having the financial backings or really any technology backings back then. So, but it was something that he really wanted to do, and it was a way to, most people come to this country, or at least at that time, to better their education, to better themselves, and to have better opportunities for their family. So that's what his goal was.
So it was like a long-standing dream to go to the U.S.?
Well, it was really not a dream. I mean, he had no idea. My dad actually comes from a very small village in India. His dad was a farmer, and so he grew up. He didn't even think he was going to college, but he did very well in school. His parents never encouraged him to go to college, but his teachers did. So he did end up going to college, and then, but education was always a big focus for him. So he did his master's degree as well, and then he went to work, and then he found out about the opportunity to come to the United States, and so that's what he did, is come here. So it was never a dream of his long term, it's just something that happened, and he wanted to keep his education going, and this was a great opportunity for him. So.
And was there an Indian community in Arlington?
Back then, when he came, no. I mean, in fact, he was one of the first Indians in Arlington, which is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So, but there was not a big Indian community compared to what it is now.
So, like, how did they find Indian food and, like, maintain their culture?
Yeah. So when he came, again, there was no Indian restaurants, no Indian stores. There were a few other graduates that he met, and he has still kept in touch with them. And so over time, once for the first 2 years when he was here by himself, really he wasn't able to keep his culture. But then when my mom came, and she actually brought groceries in the bag with her. But over time, more and more people started coming, and then the first Indian store came up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Then the Indian restaurants came up, and so they were able to keep their culture. But again, like I said, we used to go back almost every 2 years and spend a significant amount of time in India to keep our culture. And for my parents, the reason we went back is they can both work while we stayed with my relatives, like my grandparents and my uncles and aunts, and they took care of us over the summer. So it was much less expensive for them to send us to India and spend 4 months there than to have babysitters or send us to daycare or school or anything like that.
So was there a big extended family?
Yes, my mom has 5 sisters and 2 brothers that were in India at the time. Now, they've all immigrated here. My dad has 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and only his brother has immigrated. His family has stayed over there otherwise.
And as a little kid, like, how did you make sense of the difference between India and where you're growing up?
Right. I mean, there was definitely a cultural divide, and it was 2 ways. There was a bit of a confusion because you felt like you really were different and didn't belong here and whatnot. And then when we went back home, people knew that we were different as well because we weren't part. So, there was this identity issue where we may not know exactly where we were from, but looking back, it was actually an advantage. I mean, being brought up in 2 different cultures and knowing those 2 different cultures, you appreciate the differences and gain from those differences. I think it makes your horizons broader and just makes you a more well-rounded person. So I definitely think it was a good thing.
So can you describe your elementary school? Who were your classmates? Who were you friends with? And
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and recently I was asked what was your one thing that you may have remembered from your childhood, and one of the things that I vividly remember is in 2nd grade. I ran for president of our class, and I won. And it was a great memory, and it was a great experience. I ran on the campaign of I handed out candy, while the other person that was running against me handed out gum. And so my campaign was gum was worse than candy for you. And so anyways, I was able to get all the votes and became president. So it was a great memory. But as far as elementary school, my dad at the time had already finished his postgraduate degree and he was working. And so I went to, and so we did move around quite frequently. So I went to 4 different elementary schools growing up. So that was a little bit of a challenge because then you are in a new environment, new friends, and so that. But again, it was also unique because we got, we moved from Arlington to Houston. And then we moved back to Arlington, and so I got to see sort of that how it was in different places. But saying that, up until 6th grade, because we went to 4 different schools, I didn't really have that tight friendship with anybody up until 6th grade. Then from 6th grade to 12th grade, I was at the same place and grew up with the same people, and then was able to make some friends who I still can keep in touch with today. One of the other memories I have of this was 3rd grade was breaking my arm. We were playing in the gym and doing some jumping and calisthenics, and I fell and broke my arm, and I was in a cast for 6 weeks. And I remember my brothers and all my friends got to, the next week we were supposed to go meet Ronald McDonald from McDonald's, and I didn't get to go because I had this cast, and so I remember that vividly.
Oh.
So,
Could have still gone with the cast on.
no, I couldn't. My doctor wouldn't let me go.
Oh,
And my
no.
dad's like, well, they said that you couldn't go. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Okay. Okay, so you said that it was both like a challenge being sort of in between, not fully Indian but not fully American,
Mhm.
but then you learn from it and it made your life like richer.
Sure.
So, what was that point where you sort of started not struggling with it as much?
Yeah.
And, like,
I
realized-
think in high school, I think you look back and you realize, wow, I can speak, 3 different languages. I know 2 different cultures extremely well. I've gotten to travel the world, going back and forth. And that's something that 95% of the people I was with didn't have the experience to do. And so I really felt like it was a great asset. And I probably didn't appreciate it up until 9th grade, 10th grade, when we entered high school.
Mhm. So what was it like before that point?
Yeah, before that point, it was a little bit of a struggle because you do almost, but again, you don't know if it's just being an adolescent and being in junior high, because those struggles are there even for my kids when they were there for different reasons. Because you may not have had the right clothes, you may not have had the right shoes, so fitting in is always an issue for kids. But again, at that time. There was a little bit of an identity issue because you didn't know if you were, you lived in America, yet your roots are in India, and so where's your allegiance? And the answer you find out is that you don't have to have allegiance just to one country or one person. It could be to both. So, but yeah, but again, growing up, we were so busy with school. We'd come home, we'd go, and then back then we didn't watch a lot of TV or play a lot of video games. We were outside riding our bikes or throwing the football around, or and we would come home and be outside and come home for dinner at 7:30 or 8, and then eat dinner and do our homework and go to bed. So that was sort of the routine.
Okay. So then, as a teenager, what did you hope to be when you grew up?
Yeah. It was probably in 11th grade that I got interested in science and in the medical field, and that's kind of when I thought I'd want to pursue extra education and go to medical school. I remember there was a representative from an organization called HOE. It was Health Occupations Education, and essentially for 2 years, the 11th and 12th grade, so they came in when I was 10th grade, I could actually go to school for half the year, or for half the day, and then work for half the day. And what appealed to me was, wow, I could go work and make some money, and that was very appealing. And so I joined this organization, and my first job was with a physical therapist. And I did that for a few months, and I went back to the person that was in charge of this health occupations education. I goes, well, this is, I'm not finding that this is the best thing for me, and it's like, I really wanted to be more in I want to see what a physician does, what a doctor does, and go towards the so then I got transferred to a orthopedic clinic in Arlington. And there were 5. It was a clinic with 5 orthopedic surgeons, and my job was to bring people to the X-ray room, position them. There was a radiology technologist that did the X-rays, but I took the X-rays and I processed them. So back then you had to go to the dark room and process the X-rays, and that was what I did. But it was a great experience because we got to see all these patients with fractures, arthritis, hip problems, back problems, and then there were days when we were a little slow, and I got the opportunity to follow the doctor around from room to room and see how their interaction with patients were. And it was at that time, after spending time with them, that I realized that this is something that I think I would want to do. And so goal when I was going to, after graduating college, or after graduating high school, was to go to college and try to go to medical school.
And what about the Asia imports job?
Yeah, so that was my first ever job. So my dad, even though he's a trained, he has a doctorate in civil engineering, he always was business minded. He wanted to own a business. And a lot of this was because he called over, because of him, he sponsored a lot of the family members. For example, my mom's 5 sisters and 2 brothers, and then his family also came. And he thought, if I have a business, then these guys would automatically have a job. And so Asia Imports was, there were, in the whole Dallas-Fort Worth area, and this was in 1980, there were 2 Indian grocery stores. Okay, Sherma's was one and Asia Imports was the other. And somehow he found out about it and he bought the store. And so, so I was in 6th grade. And every weekend, my brother and I would split. I would either go Saturday and he would go Sunday, or vice versa. But one day a week, we would spend 12 hours at the store, and we would work. You know, whether it's at the cashier, whether it was packing bags or unloading trucks, cleaning the store. I mean, this is what we did for 2 years, and so it was a great first job. I mean, and a lot at the time. You know, my friends were spending their weekends doing fun things. They were playing baseball or whatnot. But we were stuck. But you know, in at the time, I may have felt like, but you know, looking back, it was a great experience. I mean, I got to learn the business aspects of things, meet a lot of people. So it was a lot of fun.
Did your friends ever go to the grocery store?
I had one friend in 6th grade who actually came there and worked as a summer job. His name was John, and we were best friends up until college. And he actually spent the summer there, so we worked together at the time.
What did he think of it?
Well, I mean, for him it was a job. He wanted to earn money, and so he enjoyed it. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
I just want to ask, like, so what kind of population did the grocery store serve?
It was 90% Indian.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was again. That was one of only 2 stores, and it was very busy because this is where people were getting all their Indian groceries. We sold Indian videos at the time for movies. We also did electronics, which are 220 volts. So people would actually buy the electronics here and take it to India for family back home. But then we sold rice, grains, fruits, vegetables, everything that you know, you see it at the Indian grocery stores now as well. So my biggest memory of that, I can tell you, is one day, it was a Saturday night, we were closing the store, and a guy comes in, and he was non-Indian. He comes into the store, and he's like, you know, I want to buy that. We had this electronics, and there was a boom box up there. So we took it down for him. It was like $150 or something like that. And it was after hours, so we were about to close up. But anyways, so we bring it down, but he held us up. He took the gun out and said, well, I really don't want that. Give me all your money, checks, and all that stuff. So he took all that, and he took everything that we had on us. And then he came outside he's like, okay, well, you guys need to come with me. So we locked the door, got into our car. He got into our car and basically said, okay, you have to take me to downtown. And so we went to downtown Dallas, and then he got out and he goes, okay, you guys need to stay here for 45 minutes. And if you move, I have somebody watching, and they will kill you. And so, I mean, obviously he was bluffing, but at the time we were just happy that he was out of the car and he left. And we waited. I was with my uncle at the time because he was also working with me at the grocery store. And so, anyways, we waited 45 minutes and finally got home. It was like 2:00 in the morning or something. Everybody was worried, and because we didn't have cell phones or anything like that back then. But fortunately, I mean, he got all the stuff, but he kept us safe. So we were. That was definitely a memorable experience.
How old were you?
I was in 7th grade, so I was 12.
Oh.
Yeah, so I didn't drive or anything like that.
So it was just your uncle and you?
Yeah,
wow.
It was just my uncle and me, yeah. So, but otherwise, it was a great experience for us.
So where did you get to all your product, like your Indian products?
Indian products?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, back then, I think we got it all from New York. Because New York was where most of the grocery stores and hubs and big grocery stores were there. So we would get it from them. They would export it to, or import it to us.
Mm-hmm.
But originally, all this stuff came from India. But I'm not sure that we got it directly from India. But.
Okay. So you're saying there's a large Indian population like around the Asian import grocery store.
Yeah, and
at that
again,
time?
it was the whole Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We were
Oh,
the
yeah.
only 2 stores there.
Uh-huh.
So now, eventually, more stores came, and now there's a bunch. So we eventually, were phased out.
Okay.
So what ended up happening with that is, after 3 years, my dad wanted to go into the motel business, hotel. So he actually bought a hotel in Wichita Falls. It was a 22-room hotel, and he got an offer to sell the store. So he sold the store, bought this hotel, and again, my uncle, my dad's brother, he was sort of his right-hand man. So he ran the store, and then from the store, he relocated to Wichita Falls, and we would go there maybe every other weekend and work at the motel. And that lasted about 2 years, and then he bought a motel closer to Dallas-Fort Worth in the Grand Prairie area, and it was a much bigger hotel. It was 101 units, and so we actually moved from our house to live at the hotel, and so we helped run the hotel. And so my uncle and his wife, they full-time ran it, but there were times where the desk clerk didn't show up, and so we would have to go and do a shift at the front desk. Or there was a time when the maid didn't show up, so we'd have to go clean rooms, or we'd have to go do laundry. We painted. We did everything back then. That was from about 9th grade, 10th grade, all the way through college. So.
Must have been cool to live in a hotel.
Well,
Besides
it
the
was,
chores.
yeah, it was, we got our own room. Now, I think my dad, if he looks back, he'll tell you, we sacrificed a little bit of family time because, we were so busy with the business and all that. We didn't really sit down and have dinners together or take vacations and that kind of stuff. But it was, we got all this other experience that I was talking about.
So what were your parents like hosts for you and your brother as you?
Yeah, my dad was always, and it was fairly typical Indian, but I mean his focus was on education, hard work and education. He definitely wanted us to excel in school and try to advance our education as much as possible. But he himself was a hard worker. So I mean he would wake up early and work a 12-hour day, then come and do all the hotel stuff, and that's where I got my work ethic from, for sure.
And how about like starting a family or?
In terms of me,
Yeah.
or for my dad, or
you and your brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all have dreams of having families and kids and whatnot, but again, education was always the focus. I met my wife in college, and she was 2 years older than me. So she graduated. We had sort of a long-distance relationship, and then when I went from college to medical school, and then after my first year, we decided to get married. And so I got married, and we had 2 kids. My son is 19, and my daughter's 22. So, and we were married for 17 years, but then we got divorced. And so we got divorced 10 years ago. And now I didn't remarry, and she hasn't remarried either. So.
Was she also Indian?
She was Indian, yes. Yeah.
So, what were the biggest challenges and rewards in raising children?
Okay. Well, you know, the rewards are this. You know, the kids are the extension of you and your heart, and you know, they give us a sense of purpose. It's unconditional love that you get, and it's unconditional love that you give. And so those are all the rewards. And of course, you know, watching them grow up. You know, whether it's getting them to take their first step, or saying their first word, or taking care of their first tooth, all the way up to, you know, catching their first baseball or scoring their first goal. You know, watching them in a school play. I mean, there was so much to look forward to while they were growing up, and now they're in college, and just to see them, you know, becoming young adults and taking care of themselves and fulfilling their dreams. I mean, those are all very rewarding experiences. As far as challenges, I mean, parenting is just a difficult thing. Nobody has a secret to parenting, and there's always challenges. You know, kids get hurt, they get bullied, they get their heart broken by boyfriends, girlfriends, and to see them suffer, that definitely causes us to suffer as parents. And then there's always challenges because, you know, you think one way, they may think the other way. There's a generation gap. There may be a cultural difference. You know, they like to use headphones to listen to loud music, and me being an ENT doctor, I'm like, it's going to hurt your ears. Stop doing that. I mean, so there's always challenges and conflicts in raising kids.
Especially, were there any conflicts between Indian and American culture?
As far as my kids are concerned, yeah. You know, and the biggest struggle was trying to keep the Indian culture alive. And you know, we would try to go every Sunday to Sunday school. There was a place called the Chinmaya Mission, and it was like pulling teeth and dragging, you know, trying to get them to go on a Sunday. You know, and it was a challenge because for them. I remember that, you know, one time I was telling them, I said, you should you should keep our language alive. You keep our language alive, you keep our culture alive. They're like, well, Dad, when am I ever going to use Gujarati? Nobody speaks that here in the United States, you know, and it's a difficult, it was a good question. I'm like, you know, I don't know why you would want to speak Gujarati, but, you know, you keep your culture, I mean, you keep your language alive, you keep your culture alive, and I think in the long run, you'll understand. Like, I benefited from knowing two different cultures, two different languages. It's not a concrete benefit. It's not like it's going to it benefits me as, you know, I can't put my finger on it, but it is from a brain development, personal development, I think it is good. And so those are the kind of challenges we had. You know, in terms of, for example, eating, you know, growing up, I mean, 7 days a week, we ate Indian food. My mom cooked, we ate. We didn't go out to dinner. There was no fast food. I mean, that's what we did. So anytime we got to have a slice of pizza or eat something that was French or American, it was like a big treat for us, you know. But for our kids, you know, that's not the case because now growing up and once they drive, I mean, they can go to restaurants, they can go fast food. It's just a different time and age. And so... food is another way to keep your culture up, and I don't think they got the experience that I got.
So you, I mean, like, how many days a week would you cook Indian food?
At home when I was a kid, or now an adult with the kids, with my kids. Probably one or two.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the other days were, you know, something they would, you know, spaghetti or pasta or sandwiches, or we would go out, that kind of stuff. Because the culture is different. I mean, now, I mean, it's a totally different thing. Back then, we couldn't afford to go out. When the kids were growing up, going out to a restaurant as a family was a privilege, and it was fun to do, and it was a way that we could all sit together and have a good meal. So it's just a different generation.
Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit like. You sort of eat more American food, or you go out more because it feels like, you know, like higher quality, maybe? Right.
Or I think it's convenience.
Yeah.
Is one thing. The kids definitely enjoyed it more. There was no cleaning or cooking, and so that was that. And Yeah, I think it's more convenient, more affordable. Those were the two reasons we could do it.
Okay. Okay, so what religion do you practice?
Hinduism.
So that was just passed on from your parents?
Correct. In what I've been taught and what I believe is, we were born as a Hindu. And growing up, my parents, again, we spent a lot of time back home in our motherland, but even at home, my mom and dad did daily prayers. They did daily what's called arti. And so we saw that. And we, at least I read the Bhagavad Gita. That was our sort of the Hindu Bible, if you will. And then on weekends, there were social get-togethers or gatherings that would involve all this stuff. So that's how I grew up. Now, as far as my kids, this was something that we tried to reproduce. But because there's so many choices, so many different opportunities, and so many different things to do, I don't think we were as consistent as my parents were. And in fact, my kids grew up doing this, but there were days, Sundays, like, Dad, I want to go to church with so-and-so, and like, fine. I mean, and I'm all about being exposed to all this stuff. And so they grew up probably more diversified in that sense, because they had more opportunities.
And was your wife also a doctor?
No, she was she majored in biology, and she did research for a while, and then she stopped working once the kids were born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What role has religion played in your life?
Okay. Well, religion from childhood has probably it's played a significant role. I mean, again, seeing my mom and dad doing daily prayers and vigils and arti and reading the Bhagavad Gita, I think it does form a foundation of our values, a sense of belonging as to who you are. And over time, as we become more educated, more experienced, we see other things. My thought is religion turns more into spirituality. So it's not about necessarily listening to the devotional songs all the time, or going to church or going to the temple, but it's more about what you believe in your heart, the faith that you have. So for me, it's more of a spiritual issue.
Around what age did you sort of get the spirituality?
Yeah. Well, I think it's an evolving process. So I don't even know that it's there yet. But I think there was always a little bit, but it was probably, after actually finishing my education and training, because it was hard to focus on anything else until then. But looking back, there was always this sense of sort of a blind faith, that you knew that you weren't the controller of your thoughts and actions. I always felt like there was a supreme power, supreme being that sort of guided me. And we all come to forks in the road, and whether we take a left or a right, it's you look back and you're like, well, why did I make that turn? And there's got to be something that guided me. And I felt, and I still believe in that.
Was the Gandhi Library affiliated with Arya Samaj?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, in some ways, so the Gandhi Library is a separate organization. The way it's affiliated with Arya Samaj is they've always been an active supporter, and in fact, we use the Arya Samaj, we use their library to hold our meetings. We've held our speech contests. We've done a lot of functions there. So they've always been a devout supporter of our library.
Okay, so how did you get involved with the Gandhi Library?
The Gandhi Library. So, and I remember this distinctly, it was in 2003, we went to a fundraiser. It was an Indo-American charity foundation fundraiser. And Mahatma Gandhi was somebody that I've read about, and sort of didn't know too much about, but I knew that he had these values, and I wanted to learn more about him. But I felt like he could be, if I were to pick 3 leaders in my life, he would be one of them, something in that sense. So, but anyways, I went to this charity, and at the charity banquet, they had a auction, for trying to raise money. And there was this life-size churka. The churka, I don't know if you know what that is, it's a spinning wheel. If you look at the Indian flag, it's saffron, white, and green. In the middle, there's a wheel, and it represents the churka. And the churka is one of the symbols of freedom for India, because back in the early 1900s, when Britain was still, where India was a colony of the British Empire, one of the ways that India sought its freedom, and this is all the doings of Mahatma Gandhi, but one was they decided that we don't want to rely upon the British Empire to import clothes anymore. We want to make our own clothes. And so they did this by using the spinning wheel. It was a cotton spinning wheel. And so and all day, all night, they were spinning and making their own clothes. And sure enough, they became, and they actually took off their existing clothes and burned them all, because they were all made in Britain. And the textiles in Britain were going bankrupt at the time. And so British realized, India is no longer they don't need us. We're not getting anything from them. They're not buying anything from us. And that was one of the ways that it slowly became independent. So anyways, getting back to, so there was a life-size replica of the churka. And I bid on it and I bought it, okay? And I thought it would look good on my mantle at home. Well, a couple of weeks later, this guy, Mr. Atul Kothari, calls me. And he goes, I heard you bought the churka. You must be a Gandhian. I'm like, well, what's a Gandhian? I don't know what that is. And he goes, well, I want to come talk to you. I said, okay. So he came to my house. We had tea. And he was telling me about the Gandhi Library. And it was sort of a brainchild of 4 or 5 people. And they're like, we want to sort of bring him back to this culture and this environment, and sort of relive his values of peace and truth and nonviolence. And we want to teach this to the kids. And so I want to form this library. And so he showed me the stuff that he had been doing, and I bought on. I thought it was great. I'm like, and I was like, well, this is great for me because I get to learn about this. And then my kids at the time were 4 and 6, and I'm like, would be perfect for them to learn about it. And so that's sort of how I came in touch with the Gandhi Library. And then I've been part of the organization since then.
What's your role right now?
So, we don't truly have a sort of a leadership ladder. But, depending on various things, of course, Atul Kothari is the founder. And then if we need to do any applications or anything, he'll always put me as president or the executive director. I would say, if you wanted to make any terms, I'm part of the board of trustees of the Gandhi Library, and a very active volunteer. So that's sort of the role.
Okay. So how do you balance your work life and
Sure.
volunteering for them?
Yeah, well, as far as work, and I'm fortunate to be in a specialty that it's typically Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. My schedule is not very flexible during the week, but during the weekend it's very flexible. It was more of a challenge of juggling my kids' activities, raising them, friends, social stuff, and then the Gandhi Library. Mm-hmm. But for everything that you're passionate about, you can find time. And we all can allocate time as we need to. And I realized that this was important for me, and it was something I wanted to learn about, I wanted to be engaged in, and so I made time. And fortunately, the commitment was, even now, we meet once a month, and we meet at the Arya Samaj, and it's usually about 2 to 3 hours that we meet. And during the week, I mean, there's emails, there's some stuff to do, but it's it's definitely something that doesn't. I don't feel like it that I don't have time for.
So where are you right now
In the Gandhi Library?
Yeah.
So we are now almost 15 years in existence. Every year we have been celebrating the Thousand Lights for Peace, which is a celebration of Mahatma Gandhi's birthday on October 2nd. And we typically do it on the Sunday around October 2nd. And it's at the Miller Outdoor Theater. It's a international program with songs and dances. And then we also have an award ceremony for all the students that win the competitions that we hold for this celebration. It's called Mahatma Gandhi Week, and there's a poster contest, there's a speech contest, essay contest, eye tribute contest. So we hand out a lot of awards on stage, and then there's usually some guest speakers. And we've had, Mayor Lee Brown, we've had Anise Parker, we've had Mattress Mac, we've had Congressman Harold Green. So we've had a lot of popular speakers come, and they sort of talk about how Gandhi has touched their lives and whatnot. So it's a 2-hour program. The grand finale of the program, and this is why it's called Thousand Lights for Peace, is everybody that's there gets to light a candle as their pledge for peace, and that's how we end the program. So that's so we've been doing that every year for the past 12 years now. There's a walk for peace that's right before it that we've been doing. Then we also do, in January, we commemorate something called Shraddhanjali, which is a commemoration of his death anniversary, which is January 30th. And we do this with Unity Houston, which is the church on 59 in Hillcroft. And so they have been hosting this, and again, it's a 1-hour program commemorating his death. And so there's songs, devotional songs, and speeches and whatnot. The biggest thing about the Gandhi Library, so those two things are there, and then every month we meet. It's 1 hour is an organizational meeting, and then 1 hour we actually read a chapter out of his autobiography and discuss that. And so we've been doing that consistently for the past 12 years. We also go to different events. For example, International Festival. We go to the Vegan Festival. We go to Janmashtami, and we have what's called the booth there, the Gandhi Library booth. And so we present all the books that we have, the artifacts we have, and then we tell people about what we're doing, talk to them about Thousand Lights for Peace or Shraddhanjali. And so we've been doing all this fairly consistently for the past 12 plus years. Now we are coming to the point where we're embarking on something even bigger, something that we never even dreamed of doing, and that was we're trying to bring what's called the Eternal Gandhi Museum to Houston. I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but it's this all started, there is an Eternal Gandhi Museum in Delhi, and they've preserved his room it was the room where Gandhiji spent his last night in before he was assassinated. They've traced his footsteps to the point where he's assassinated, and then they built this technological museum about his life and times and about his teachings and whatnot. And it was the museum has been installed there since 2005. Anyways, we got, I would say Atul Kothari got in connection with the Birla Group, and they're like the Rockefellers of India, and they're the ones that brought the museum out. And, as he was talking, they thought, well, why not have an Eternal Gandhi Museum in the United States? And we have 3 copies of our exhibits. One is already going to Birmingham, England. And so we would like to have one go to the United States. And so this was 4 years ago. And so Atul Kothari came back and he talked to the board of trustees of the Gandhi Library. And we're like, this is phenomenal. This is great. We would love to have an Eternal Gandhi Museum. And so at this point, we've already purchased the land. We're formulating, we've got the business plan formulated, we have architectural renderings, we have a museum curator, so we're, about to break ground in the construction of, it's a 10,000 square foot museum. And we're getting advice from, we formed a board with people like Dr. Ann Chow, the director of the Menil, the Rothko Chapel, and so there's a lot of people that have joined hands with us in trying to get this going. And hopefully, our dream and goal is to open this museum October of 2019, which will be the sesquicentennial anniversary, birthday anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. So his 150th birthday, and that's when we would want to open the museum. Now, the other thing that we're doing, so that's one project. Speaking of his 150th birthday, there is another committee that's being formed. It's called the Gandhi Sesquicentennial Committee. And this is being chaired by none other than Dr. Ann Chow, who is the director of the Asia Society. And it's a one-year-long celebration of Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, starting October 2nd. And what we've done is we've reached out to different organizations in the Houston Metroplex. Rice University, the Bonyack Center, Menil Collection, the Rothko Chapel, and then Arya Samaj, just different organizations. And what we're asking them to do is whatever they typically do, whether it's a book club, it's a competition, it's cultural dance, we've reached out to restaurants, find something that you can do to commemorate Gandhiji's birthday. Something you typically do, but just dedicate it to him. And again, this is all to expose his values or promote his values of peace and truth and nonviolence. So it's going to be a one-year celebration of his 150th birthday. There's a website that will list all the activities that's going on throughout the year, and it will be dedicated to that. So that's also on the plates for the Gandhi Library.
Do you think that there's anything in particular about Houston that made the Gandhi Museum and Library possible, and all these people to come together?
Sure. Well, and Houston is the fourth largest city in the country, and again, Gandhi was a universal person. Every religion, every culture can relate to what his values are, and of course, Houston's the melting pot of this country. I mean, it's multicultural, so many different organizations, and so, and of course, a very large Indo-American population. So, with a base like the Gandhi Library provides, I mean, we've been already doing this for more than 12 years. I think we're the perfect organization for them to come to and collaborate with to bring this here. And so they feel confident, that we can fulfill their dreams of bringing an Eternal Gandhi Museum here. Mm-hmm. And so I think that was, it was sort of a perfect fit.
And what's been the response to all of the Gandhi Library events?
Well,
is it mostly the Indian community comes, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say it's not mostly. I mean, we are more. If you come to the Thousand Lines for Peace, you'll see on stage. There's the African American community, the Hispanic community, the Muslim community. It's very multicultural. I would say that our board and our day-to-day, we're mostly Indians, but I think one of the things that we're proud about is that we really involve all cultures, all ethnicities, all religions, and we want to be that way, and that's how Gandhiji was too.
And finally, what are your hopes for the Gandhi Library Museum?
Yeah, well, my hopes are this. I hope that it adds adds to the already sort of, Houston is already known for its arts and museums, and I hope that this will be another jewel in the crown of the Houston community. I also hope that one of our biggest things about this museum is we really want to expose Gandhiji to the kids of today. And we want to do this through field trips. And so our dream is that we have on a weekly basis busloads of kids from the entire Houston community, and they come and they visit the museum. It's going to be very interactive. We're going to try to make it fun, but they leave sort of being exposed to the values of peace and truth and nonviolence, and how this is something that we sort of learn from a guy that we call Mahatma, who's the noble, the great soul, but it's something that we can do ourselves. It's not, you don't have to be the Mahatma to do what he did. And if we can instill that into our kids, I think it'll be better for everybody.
So also you participate in Faith in Practice?
Yes.
So what is that and how did you get started?
Right. So Faith in Practice is a Houston-based organization, and it's a faith-based organization, Christian faith. And what they do, they have they have a hospital in Antigua, Guatemala, which is Central America. And every year, once a week for 6 months, so from January to June, they send a team of volunteer physicians, nurses, staff, and they treat the illnesses of the people in Guatemala that can't afford to have it done. And so I got involved in this about 10 years ago. And one of my partners here at work, he's on the board, and he's been going for almost 18 years now. And at the time, he's like, well, there's one team, and they need an ENT doctor, and because one of them backed out. And he asked if anybody could go, and I'm like, yes, I would like to do that. So I volunteered to go. And it's a 3-hour flight. We go from Saturday to Saturday. And the first time I went, I did 38 surgeries, saw 100 patients. And I worked hard, but I felt very fulfilled and had a lot of fun. And I probably got out of it more than my patients got out of it, because it's just something that you take for granted here in the United States. And so that part of service I was lacking here in the United States, and I felt like, this is something I want to do year after year. And this will be, in fact, we're leaving in 2 weeks. My team is going in 2 weeks. This will be my 11th trip to go. And it's a fantastic organization. They raise a lot of money because these trips do cost a lot of money. And we try to use the technology we have here and bring it to the folks in Guatemala. And this is a third world country, a lot of poverty. The basic, simple things that we take for granted here are not accessible over there, and we do provide that, or we try to provide it. And so anyway, it's been a very fulfilling part of our activity for me to do on a year-to-year basis.
So have you made friends with the people that you work with in Guatemala?
Sure. Yeah, and in fact, one of the guys that I sort of clicked with, he's a oral surgeon from Guatemala, and he actually at this hospital, he's a private practitioner there, but he volunteers at this hospital. So I got to know him very well. I met him, I think, 8 years ago on my 3rd trip, and we've been keeping in touch. And in fact, last summer he came and stayed with me for a week, and I showed him what medicine was like here. He came to the operating room, followed me around, and so we've become lifelong friends. And like him, there's several others. I mean, he's the only one that I've sort of that has actually come and visited me and all that stuff. But I go back and see a lot of the same people, a lot of the same nurses, the orderlies in the OR, the administrators of the hospital, so yeah, it's great to see them on a weekly basis. And then I've also made great friends with the people because when I went, I didn't know anybody on the team, and our teams, each team is about 30 people, 5 physicians, 5 anesthesiologists, and then 20 nurses, surgical assistants, translators, PACU nurses. So there's a team of 30 people, and so I've been with the same team for the last 11 years, and I feel like we're lifelong friends.
So before we move on to the last few questions,
Okay.
did I miss anything? I think I might have skipped.
So how many siblings do you have?
How many siblings?
Yeah.
Oh, I have 2 brothers. I have
Uh-huh.
an older brother who's 2 years older than me,
Uh-huh.
and then I have a younger brother who's 4 years younger than me.
Okay.
So there's 3 boys.
So do you take care of your younger brother like when you were kids?
My older brother and I are, like I told you, I was 2 and he was 4. My younger brother
Yeah.
wasn't born. So he was born 4 years after me, but what ended up happening is my parents left him in India for 5 years. So he grew up in India. He was raised by my aunt and my grandmother before he came here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was in school, my older brother was in school, my mom needed to work, my dad needed to work, they had a baby, and they couldn't afford babysitting or daycare. So they actually took him to India and left him there, and that's why we would visit him so often too, but he didn't move back here till he was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, when he came here, he was 5, so we took care of him at that point, but we're very tight, we're very close. So.
Were there any like cultural conflicts between you and your parents when you were kids?
Well, of course, my parents were very traditional, and they were raised in a very conservative family environment.
Mm-hmm.
Again, going out to eat or drinking or anything that had to do, was something that they just couldn't understand. They were, because of the financial situations, they were very thrifty, and so of course we growing up saw our friends wearing Nike shoes or wearing Levi jeans, and we wanted that, but we couldn't necessarily have that. So there was always conflicts in that sense.
Were there like a lot of like a huge Indian community when you were growing up?
No, I mean, in fact, there was not a big Indian community, but growing up, I mean, every year we saw it progress. It got bigger and bigger and bigger. And in fact, my aunt, and this was in 1976, at least in Texas, or at least in Dallas-Fort Worth, had the first Indian wedding ever. So we got to attend that. But again, back then that was the first time that somebody had gotten married through an Indian traditional ceremony. Now it's all the time that happens. So, but we got to see the growth of the Indian community.
Do you have like any Indian friends when you were growing up, like maybe in primary school or like middle school?
So in primary school, no. Middle school, starting 7th grade, that's when I probably met my first Indian friends.
Oh.
And then, and again, knowing them was great because they were very culturally adept as well, and so we used to go to the festivals with them, like Garba, and go to the temples with them, and so it was probably after 7th grade, and then from 7th grade on, very tight-knit Indian community and a lot of tight-knit Indian friends, and even now. Again, that's the advantage of having exposure to both sides. I mean, I have friends tight-knit friends from the Indian community as well as the Anglo-American community here.
Okay, so you say you moved to Arlington at 2, and then you moved to Houston, is that correct?
Yeah.
And then you moved back to Arlington. When
yeah.
did you move to Dallas-Fort Worth?
Yeah, in Arlington, when I say Arlington, that's Dallas-Fort Worth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same,
Sorry.
because Arlington is a suburb of the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
All right.
So, we came to Arlington when I was 2 from India. And then my dad finished his PhD and was working, but then he got another job in Houston. So I remember going to Houston, and we were in Houston for 2nd and 3rd grade, and then we moved back to Arlington in 4th grade. And then we were at one school in 4th grade, but then had to move to a different neighborhood, so we were in a different school for 5th grade. And then we moved again when I was in 6th grade, and then from 6th grade on, we stayed at the same place.
Okay. So when and why did you move to Houston?
It was basically because my dad got relocated for his work was the main reason. Oh, you
I
was
mean,
again
like
for me.
you.
That's me. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as far as my background, so I grew up in Arlington. I finished high school in 1986. Okay. I went to Baylor University in Waco for 1 semester.
Okay.
And at that time, my dad was in the hotel business, and it wasn't doing very well, and financially he was very strapped. So I had to leave college, or leave Baylor, and I enrolled at University of Texas in Arlington. And it was 10 times cheaper to go there, and I could stay home and all that stuff. So I graduated from UTA in 1990, came to Houston to go to Baylor Medical School. And so I was in Houston from 1990 to 1994. After I graduated medical school, I went to University of Tennessee in Memphis, because that's where I matched for my residency in otolaryngology. So I was there for 6 years, training. Then I did a 1-year fellowship in Chicago, because I was especially interested in head and neck cancer and sinuses. So I did a 1-year fellowship there. But I always wanted to come back to Texas, and I liked Houston, and there was a great opportunity here in Houston with Texas ENT specialist, and so I started with them in 2001, and I'm still with them.
So did you ever want to live anywhere else besides Texas, or?
I really did. I mean, I lived in Tennessee, I lived in Chicago, but I kind of wanted to come back to Texas, and maybe because of my family's here. My parents and aunts and uncles and brothers, and then weather-wise, Chicago was just so cold, and so it just seemed like so I just always wanted to come back to the South. But I knew I wanted to be in a city that was large, multicultural, multi-ethnic, sort of a melting pot, and that's why Houston was a great fit. Now we moved to the suburbs because we had young kids, and the schools were better, or at least we thought they were better, and it was just seemed like a better place to raise kids. And that's why, when I say Houston, we actually moved to Katy, which is a western suburb of Houston.
Okay. So speaking of kids, so what do you have any expectation for your kids?
Well, we all have expectations, of course, yeah. So, from my parents, I learned, my work ethic, how important education is. But for my kids, my expectations are for them to be happy, to do what they like to do. There is this one part that says, I want them to enjoy life and make the most out of every day. But I also want them to be responsible. I want them to be contributing citizens. I want them to, have a good life for themselves. And take advantage of every opportunity they have. And that's sort of my expectations for them.
Okay. Have you ever taken them to visit India?
I have. I've taken them, actually only once, and it was about 10 years ago we went. And so they were fairly young. And in fact, we're planning another trip with them in December.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's been a while since they've been back. So I have taken them to Guatemala on one of these mission trips, but not to India.
How do they like it?
They loved it, yeah. So, they got a sense of what a third world country is like, what mission work is like, what the hospital system there is like. They got to relate with the kids there. They got to play with them, see how their schools are. And for them, it's a good way to know what the world is like. I mean, sometimes we're sheltered here in the United States, and so that definitely is an opportunity that I think it's one of those things that they'll never forget. I mean, they enjoyed it, and they would love to go back, but there's always time constraints when now they're in college and stuff. So.
So I saw the photo of you and
Bill Clinton, yeah.
Clinton.
Yeah.
So can you tell me more about that?
Well, this was 2 years ago when Hillary was running for presidency. And one of my good friends invited Bill Clinton to come to his house. So it was a fundraiser, and he was campaigning for Hillary Clinton at the time. So I got the opportunity to go and meet him and take my picture with him and have him sign his book, his autograph. And he gave about a 15-minute spiel, and it was really more about campaigning for Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely one of my favorite presidents. I thought, what he stood for, his values, and was something that I could relate to. So I definitely took the opportunity to see him and meet him.
So, do you
I
have-
can do the last questions.
Okay.
So currently, how would you identify yourself culturally?
I would say I am. How would I identify myself? Well, I am an American. I'm a United States citizen with a background in the Hindu culture.
Okay. And besides culture, are there any other things that immediately come up first?
About what though?
Religion, your job.
I see. Okay. Religion, not really. I mean, I would say that when I think of religion, I think of Hinduism, and I think of spirituality. And when I think of values, I think of Mahatma Gandhi, and I think of peace and truth and nonviolence. When I think of my identity, I think as a physician, a father, and a citizen of this community.
And so finally, do you have any advice for young people today?
Yeah. Well, my advice would be, and when you say young, how young? Or anybody, like you,
yeah,
or
Sure, our age.
Our age.
Your age, yeah? Okay. I would say try to expose yourself to as many things as possible. And in this day and age, there's so many opportunities that it can become sometimes mind-boggling and confusing. But when you look back, all these opportunities and experiences that you have really formulate you as a person. One thing I would tell you is keep a journal. And I tell this to my kids. Anything you do, and if you can do it on a daily basis, it's great. Because over time, you do tend to forget some of this stuff. But if you can write down a pearl of wisdom every day that you've learned or you've been exposed to or that you've thought of, and you can document this and sort of journal it, in the long run, it'll help you. And I haven't done that as faithfully as I wanted to, but I have done a lot of that. And, a lot of times, when I'm traveling, I'm in the airplane, and, instead of watching another series of Game of Thrones or something, I'll look back at my journal and go through all my experiences, all the pictures that I've taken and all the places I've been to and all the people I've met. I've even saved text messages from my kids, whether it was conflicts or things that they were happy about. And it's so nice to go back and relive those experiences. And it does make you a better person because you run into these things again. And if you've sort of learned from your experiences or your mistakes, I think that's the best way to do it. And trust me, as you get to my age, you forget so much. And if it's written down, then it's there for you to look back through. So.
Oh. So when did you start journaling?
I probably started after. I can tell you more is probably when I first went to Antigua 11 years ago. Prior to that, I didn't, and it was probably when we started having cell phones because I can take notes on the phone, and that's kind of when I started doing it. Now I've had, looking back, I have some diaries that I've kept from medical school and from residency that I've looked back on as well. So I was doing it back then, but not as much as I do now.
So when you look back on yourself, what do you feel like in general? Do you feel like, oh, I was too young, this is so stupid, or something like that?
Yeah, looking back, well, again, we all come to forks in the roads and have to make decisions.
Mhm.
And fortunately, things did fall into place for me from an education standpoint. Even though I didn't get to finish at Baylor University because of financial reasons, I went to UTA. It was a blessing. I got to meet so many people and got a great training. And but that was my lead into getting into med school. I was so fortunate to get into medical school. I mean, it's so difficult, with the competition and whatnot. But got into medical school, and then from there I had to apply for a residency training, and I fell in love with otolaryngology, head and neck surgery. I was fascinated by the anatomy of the neck, the ear, the nose, and it was one of the toughest residencies to get. But fortunately, I was able to match in Memphis, Tennessee, and then I was there for 6 years, and then I got into a fellowship. And then I came to Texas ENT, which is one of the most prominent organizations in Houston for ENT. So, I do feel fortunate and blessed that now we all make mistakes as growing up, and I could sit here and talk to you about a lot of those mistakes. But whether it's in parenting, whether it's in marriage, whether it's being the son, we've all made mistakes, and we learn from them. And that's and I think journaling helps. I think knowing your values so that you don't make the same mistake twice. I mean, I can tell you one of the things about Mahatma Gandhi that I value the most is he was a man that made many mistakes, but he never made them twice. So that's something that I value, and I wish I could say the same, but I still make the same mistakes over and over. But that's part of learning, and that's part of spirituality and growing and whatnot.
I think that's all we have. So
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope all that came out okay.
Mhm.